everyone. Jamie Meloni here, host of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Each morning we talk with many different business professionals, entrepreneurs, political and community leaders in an effort to inspire you to step outside of the box and follow your passion and do something that you love, because you will find that many of these people on this program came from a place of uncertainty and stepped into a wealth of ideas and income as well. So definitely tune into the program each weekday morning at 7 a.m. to get inspired on the all-new That Business Show 2.0. So on today's program, I'm talking with Michael Mendes. He is the founder and CEO of Tasty Minstrel Games. So interestingly enough, we'll be talking about games today. So learn more at playtmg.com. And we're also going to be talking a lot about business, as we always do on this program, as he's turned a love for games and hobby board games into $1 million business with a unique hierarchy structure that makes it for a very fun working environment as well. So Michael, welcome to the program today.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to be on, Jamie.
Absolutely. So tell me just about Tasty Minstrel Games. What is this about?
So we make hobby board games. So the easiest way for me to explain that, I think, is that we make games for the kind of people that have fun bending a spreadsheet to their will. So if that's partially your idea of fun, many of the games that we make, more complicated games, are the kind of thing you would like.
Now, these are all original games. These aren't derivatives of, the well-known board games or anything. So these are all unique creations. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so give me an example of one. You use the term spreadsheets, and nobody ever really associates spreadsheets and gaming together. How do you tie spreadsheets and gaming together?
Oh, it's just that the type of person that really, they want a result. In my experience, if they want a particular result and they're going to use a tool like a spreadsheet, they're also the type of person who would like our games. That's why I use that example.
Okay, all right. So give me an example of how the game is played, or the games are played, and again, people can learn about these games for themselves at playtmg.com. But give me an example of some of your products that are out there on the market. Okay,
Martian Dice is a game that is very accessible. Now, everyone can like this. You roll dice, you choose what things you're going to keep. You are Martians invading and abducting cows and chickens and humans because you want to determine who the actual leaders of the world are. So there's that game. There are games like Orleans, which is a $60 more intense building up of your resources and utilizing those resources to do different things. Those are a couple of examples.
Now, at PlayTMG, how does this work? People go to the website and then they can download these games for a fee. Is that how the model works?
No, they're physical games in real life. They don't have any digital versions.
Okay, so it's not digital. Okay.
The way that they so there's no downloading it except by going to a local hobby store and purchasing it. That's where most of our games are sold. We sell a lot of games on Kickstarter when we first are preparing to get them manufactured and whatnot.
Okay. I can remember growing up with all the different board games and everything. It seems in today's digital age, though, everything's either through a play system or it's online. So you're designing still physical game products that people can go and play. What is your best seller out there? What's the most popular game out there that people may know?
So the games that we make, our best sellers are Dungeon Roll, Eminent Domain, Orleans.
Eminent Domain, that doesn't have any, does that have to do with the housing issue, Eminent Domain, or is that just the name of that? Okay.
It's just the name of
I'm a realtor, and you say Eminent Domain, it sparks a whole other set of talking points with me, Sam. But go ahead.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So it's a science fiction game, and you are taking over the people's planets. You are exerting your science fiction future taking over the planet version of Eminent Domain.
Now, I remember growing up being in the games and the Nintendos and got the PlayStation, and then I was into the board games, and today I'm not a gamer at all. I don't play board games, I don't play video games, but I'm just curious about how those two markets interact or coincide with one another. The people that like digital games and the Nintendos and the PlayStations versus the board games, are those two totally separate markets?
I would say that everybody who likes board games likes video games. Not everyone who likes video games will like board games or realizes that they should like board games. and that's evidenced by the scale of the industries, right? The video game market is measured in the billions, and the physical board game market is measured as a fraction of toys.
Right, right, but it's nonetheless still a market out there, and something that you've turned into a a seven-figure business here. What got you started in this business? Did you have a background in entrepreneurship and other businesses, and then you went this direction, or was this the first time doing a business? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Sure. So I'm 35, and I spent 30 years now doing essentially three things: playing games, thinking about games, or being frustrated that
right.
the appropriate thing to either play or think about games at the moment. So I certainly had a lot of experience in that, and that was board games, that was video games, that was any game that I had sufficient interest in. And so there's that. I credit a lot of my desire to run a business to how I grew up with my father. So my father works as a financial advisor, and he started that when I was 6 months old. And one of my favorite things to do, probably from when I was 7 to 11, was to watch the nightly business report on PBS every night with him.
At 7 years old, huh? Or was it more just you want to be with your father, or you actually enjoyed the content?
Yes, both.
Oh, okay. Actually. All right.
And so, and he used to manage a grocery store. Is very customer service conscious. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, sure. I was saying it right.
It's a tough word. Yeah, service conscious. Yes.
And so, just consistent lessons from him on a regular basis, going out, trying businesses, selling things. When I played Magic the Gathering a lot, well, I didn't sell Magic cards for the purpose of making money. I certainly traded very aggressively with an eye towards value and helping the person that I was interacting with to where I would get more, in my opinion. But that we both felt that it was a good deal. That experience helped out. There's a lot of things that I've done over the years. I ended up working with my father as a financial advisor, starting when I was 24, for 7 years. And that worked out really well too. And
then you started the TMG brand, and how long before you started to make some money and make it stable? Was it something that happened immediately, or was it something that took maybe a year or two or even 5 years or more to develop a brand?
So TMG started in 2009, and I was married. I still am married, to the same lovely lady. I had 2 small kids at that time. I have 4 still young kids now. Mm-hmm. And I was working as a financial advisor, very successful. My wife wanted to stay at home with our kids. I wanted to enable that if I could. So while I would come home and I was doing very well and enjoyed it and was good at being a financial advisor, right? Mm-hmm. I would come back occasionally and see a situation where I'm like, oh, but it's not games. And eventually she said, we're going to be together a very long time. I don't want to hear about this for the rest of our lives. So you got to do something about that. I started in 2009, but I was not going to jump in until it could support my family. Like jump in as in not working as a financial advisor anymore. Right. So that took until 2014. It was the first time I hired someone. And so it took 5 years. Mm-hmm. But I was very risk adverse to not being able to provide for my family.
How was the product line?
We've always proceeded by mate. So one of the things about me as a person who loves games is that when I find a game that I love, I want to make it and make it available to people as long as I know how. So if it's a video game, I don't know how to do that. With that said, that means that we make as many games as we can stand to make and have the capability to make up to our quality standards. That has expanded over the years. Over the 8 years that, or is it 9 years? Over the time we've been running, it is a, what is it? We've made about 50 games, and we can make 10 to 15 new games a year without too much trouble.
Now, I've got to take a break here, but I want to come back from the break and learn about your management structure, your team structure, the development of these games. How do the ideas come from, inside your head to actual product, and what markets you're having great success in selling these? Because I was looking at this and thinking it was a digital version, but it's an actual physical product. And in today's environment, you don't see a lot of people actually producing physical, tangible products anymore. And so it's always exciting to talk to people that are putting things out there on the marketplace, how they develop them, how they get their funding for them, and how they get retail operations to want to sell their products. So all that stuff we'll talk with Michael when we come back from the break. And again, currently talking to Michael Mendes, founder and CEO of Tasty Minstrel Games. And you can see his product and learn more at that website, playtmg.com. And you also learn more about this program at thatbusinessnetwork.com. We've redesigned the old site there, so the old Tampa Bay radio site pushes over to this new site. So take a look at it. It's just in its infancy, so I just started building it last week. But it's got some of the bells and whistles on it that we had before, but a lot more to go and a lot more to come on that site. So be sure to keep an eye on that. And of course, new episodes air each weekday morning at 7 a.m. on the site, Eastern Standard Time, made available on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. You're listening to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
And welcome back to That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. I'm your host, Jamie Meloni, and we're here weekday mornings with new episodes on thatbusinessnetwork.com, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. So we're talking about the gaming business today. We're talking about physical games, actual hobby board games with Michael Mendes, founder and CEO of Tasty Minstrel Games. You can learn more at playtmg.com. And Michael, you're saying, in that last segment that you have the ability to make 10 to 15 different games per year. Who's come up with these ideas? Are you making the ideas and telling people to make them, or does the team say, here's something I want to make?
So for the most part, inside of TMG, we do not design games that we are going to be publishing because that work is on the more speculative end, and it can be pretty intense. We license people's games, so I like to think that we do like what a book publisher like a Simon & Schuster or a Scholastic would do for books. We do that for physical games.
Okay, so people that are out there listening that has a game could then call you up after seeing you here on this program and say, hey, I have this idea, I'd like to pitch it to you. So is that something that you would be open to, sort of like a publisher? Hey, I got this book, can we get this to market? So that's how TMG operates?
Yes, they could. They need to come in with the understanding that they'll probably be rejected. As with most books, it's a lot of work to get something to a point where we feel like it could be something. It might not even be ready yet, but we would know how to take it that last, 15 yards or whatever it is.
Now, what makes a game successful on the marketplace? What are some of the things that you're looking for in a game? There's only so many games out there and variations of different types of models. What does well out there on the marketplace? What are you looking for when designers then come to you?
So we're in an interesting situation. We don't try to guess what's going to be good. So the simple answer to what makes a good game in the commercial sense is sales. But we make games that we like, and we feel that our customers would like and appreciate and would not be upset if they bought it from us. Those are the games we're going to make. And so what we do is we work on making it as cost effective as possible for us to make those games.
Now, are you looking for people with
in the marketplace?
Are you looking for people that have games that have a track record of sales that you can see, or are you willing to work with somebody who you think that's a great idea and you'd like to market it? What are you looking for though when people are coming to you?
So we work with people who have finished game designs that are not published usually. If something had been published before, it needs to have fallen out of contract. It needs to have, demand out there. Our print runs are typically 2,000 to 3,000 units at first. If something is selling really well, we'll print more as needed. But we work really hard to be able to test new things in the marketplace where the data is actually customers making purchasing decisions as opposed to saying, oh yeah, I like that.
Right. Now,
yeah, I buy it. No.
Now, what about retail operations?
When you actually buy it.
What about the retail operations? And you mentioned you put stuff out on Kickstarter and maybe Indiegogo, the different crowdfunding sites that are out there. Well, who are your resellers? Where are you having good luck with getting these products out on the marketplace too?
Right. So when we put something on a crowdfunding site, it's going to be to fund the game originally. We have built up over the years a relationship with the hobby retailers through distribution and whatnot. So we sell them to distributors sell them to those retailers who might look like a comic shop. It might look like a trading card store. It might look like a board game store. It might look like a dungeon from the outside. Those are the kind of places where our games are sold. Mm-hmm. And then occasionally we've had games selling at Barnes & Noble, for example.
Do you see them inside Walmarts and Kmart's too, or no? Not in those operations.
Not for us.
Not in those operations. Okay. Now, crowdfunding has enabled a lot of people to get otherwise unknown products off the market, off to the market, I should say. How impactful has crowdfunding been for your business? For instance, if crowdfunding had not, come into the marketplace, would your business have been as successful as it is today?
Whether it would have been as successful or not, I'm not sure. It might be more successful, but I do know for a fact that it would require a lot more financial capital than we require as it is, because we are able to collect on enough of the products that we make before we manufacture them.
It's an incredible medium for marketing. I see so many people do well with it, but then again, I see so many people abuse the system and don't know really what they're doing. I'll see people put up there, fund my trip to, Africa or something. People want you to pay for them to go, go overseas and whatnot. How have you developed your crowdfunding campaigns? Have you developed like a community of followers that every time you put something out there, boom, you immediately start getting returns?
Yes, and we speak to these individuals mostly through email. At this point in time, we email 27,000 people, all of whom are basically all of whom have bought something from us before.
Right.
It's very rare that someone that we're emailing is not an actually a customer who's bought something from us. So we get really, really good response rates.
And how soon before you were able to build up that responsive community? Was it something that took a year or two to kind of get built up? Because again, I see so many people that go into crowdfunding with something, they don't really have a plan. They just put it up there.
We've been building it for 8 years, person by person, basically, selling products that people like. They respect what we do. We are on the various like open forum sort of places that the people that we want our customers would hang out. We are very open about what we do. Hey, there was a problem. Oh, sorry. We solve it. And
what do you typically,
after a long time, it builds up.
What's a typical game then raise when you put it out to Kickstarter for yourself? What's a typical income for that?
So a pledge level that it ranges quite widely. We often see projects go over 100,000.
Wow.
We have had 3 games now that have gone over 250,000.
Wow.
One of which we did in May of last year that was like 460. And 2 of those. Actually, all 3 of them share a very interesting characteristic in that the value that surprisingly, surprise, surprise, the value that the customer gets for what they're paying is actually higher than most, right? And 2 of those are in a very specific way. One of them was back in 2013. That was Dungeon Roll, and it was a game I was selling for. I think I was selling it for $16 or something like that. I had priced it, and there was $2 of profit per unit on the crowdfunding project. My goal was to fund a print run and get popularity behind it for when it hit retail. That worked out well for us. And the other 2 are a little bit different, where we are getting essentially a slightly discounted from full MSRP price, and then a bonus pack where the bonus pack is like $20, but it costs us $20. It might not cost us $20. It could cost us $18. It could cost us $22 by the end, depending on what we're comfortable with, to actually make and deliver that. So we're talking about really big upgrades in our
Now, do you use just
wood and metal coins and all this other stuff?
Do you just use Kickstarter for your crowdfunding platform? Because there's Indiegogo and there's GoFundMe and others as well. Do you just use Kickstarter? Do you put them out on the different platforms?
We've not used anything other than Kickstarter yet.
Just Kickstarter. And is there a particular reason that you like and recommend Kickstarter, or is that what you just got started with and that's what you stay with?
It's what we've used for 6 years. So that's we're open to experimenting with things, and we might in the near future, but yeah.
Now, tell me about your management style. I was reading your bio, and you talk about a unique hierarchy structure that kind of takes away the different levels of management. Tell me a little bit about how you run your company.
Sure, it comes from a couple of ideas here. Number one, I know that I personally don't respond well to people telling me what to do. And that extends even to myself telling me what to do, right? Hey, here's
Right.
a to-do list, future Michael. And future Michael says, past Michael, what are you doing?
Right.
And so that's one idea. The other one is, bear in mind that on the business end, I've had help on the product end from the beginning. But on the business end, I've run everything. And I was coming in from a standpoint of, if I need to have a person essentially be an extra hand for me or an extra two hands, and I tell them what to do and they just do it, then I might as well do it myself.
Right.
So,
And
it
how many
evolves
people are in
from
your?
there.
How many people do you employ or across your team, should I say?
So there's 11 people now,
And it makes for a very fun and cohesive environment.
Yeah, one of them is part-time, but there is, other than myself, there's one person who actually is kind of like a quote-unquote manager, but there's very little that is managed. It's more of a servant sort of position. Hey, everybody else who works at TMG, what do you need? And I will help you with it.
Very good.
And that's the same way that I have acted in the past. He just happens to be able to also do that for just about everything inside the company. So,
All right, well, we got to wrap up the show. Michael Mendis, founder and CEO of Tasty Minstrel Games. Great information on games as well as crowdfunding. So I got a lot out of this show, and I'm sure you did as well. And you can learn more about him, playtmg.com. So, Michael, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thanks, Jamie. It's my
And
pleasure.
again, learn more about this program at thatbusinessnetwork.com. And if you'd like to come onto the program, visit tbsinterview.com. So again, you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0. I am your host, Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.